Guten Tag, Jadderman. 'Tis I, Doodleman149, and today I bring you all another viewer variants video. In this series, I go over suggestions sent in by you, the viewers, and test them all out in Call Domination, Ground War, and Warzone. For your reference, here is the ratings chart I use to rate each build I receive. Feel free to pause and look it over for future reference. As you can see here, we have another suggestion from Kacbor, this time suggesting a Kilo 141 build that he's named German Engineering. Wunderbar! A fine piece of German machinery that actually offers some creativity on my end by allowing me to choose an optic. How kind. I do hope I choose one that is to your liking, sir. Now, before I begin, dear viewer, remember that liking or commenting or literally any interaction with the channel appeases the pagan gods of YouTube and allows me to get seen by more people. But more importantly, I appreciate your time. I know it's valuable and I'm happy you deem me worthy to occupy some of it. So without further delay, let's hop into this Kilo 141 build. For his Kilo 141 class, Kacbor cleverly came up with his German engineering build. This Kilo starts off in the muzzle section with the monolithic suppressor for boosted damage range and sound suppression at the cost of ADS speed. The Singard Arm 16.6-inch SOCOM barrel boosts our range and recoil control at the cost of ADS and movement speed. Since I was given the option of creativity with the optic, I went with the Konin LP945 Mini Reflex optic. Stippled grip tape further boosts ADS and sprint to fire speed, and this build is finished off by the 60-round magazines for a 100% ammo increase at the cost of mobility. This Kilo build enhances all the best parts of the weapon without dragging it down too much in other areas. However, oddly enough, in the exact opposites of Kacbor's usual style, this build doesn't have a bunch of ADS boosting attachments. Instead, we only have the stippled grip tape to boost our ADS speed. The monolithic suppressor could be, in my opinion, swapped out for the tactical suppressor to keep this build snappier, but I digress. German engineering is a great overall build for core domination. The boosted range of the build and the decreased recoil is great for medium range fighting. I was given the option of personally choosing a sight, so I went with an SMG sight to keep this build snappier. The 60-round magazines could also have been swapped for the 50 for boosted mobility. Despite what may sound like a mixed review of this build, I do truly enjoy this build. I have a great deal of fun using this in core domination. Is a tad bit slower than the optimal Kilo build like the one Caesar Makeda suggested. But if you're even mildly competent at the game, you'll easily swat away your competition. For core domination, Kacbor's German engineering build gets itself a 8 out of 10. When taking this solid Kilo build into ground war, this is really where this build shined. The boosted range and accuracy of the build lend itself well to fighting over medium to open ranges and even challenging sniper guns. I feel here I could have chosen a larger optic, perhaps a hollow. But I won't hold that against this class, as that was my choice to make. The 60-round magazines make sense here, as more foes require more bullets. Overall, this is an excellent build for this mode. For ground war, this Kilo 141 build earns itself a 9 out of 10. When it comes to Warzone, this is almost the ideal build if you were to ask other players. It's not the typical generic Kilo build, but I think it's all the better for it. The medium barrel allows for a greater degree of mobility, and this stippled grip keeps this build pretty quick, so running and gunning is still semi-viable. Again, if I had chosen a hollow optic, this would be better for this mode, but the chroning optic still works perfectly well for me. In my opinion, if I were to run a Kilo in Warzone, this would be the one I would run. This Kilo racks up an astonishing 10 out of 10 for Warzone and Plunder. This was an astounding Kilo build. I have loved that both Kilo builds I've been suggested so far have been fantastic. It further solidifies my belief that just because a weapon is the first one available in the game does not mean it's not good. The Kilo has a great rate of fire, low recoil, and good mobility. German engineering further boosts our range and accuracy while only slightly harming our mobility. It emphasizes the strengths of this weapon without hindering it too much in other areas. The build is fast enough for core domination. It has the range and ammo for ground war, and it has the suppression, ammo, range, and accuracy for Warzone and plunder usage. I don't play Warzone anymore, but if I did, this may be one of my sweatiest classes if I was so depraved as to actually use a meta weapon. For the final rating, Kacbor's German engineering Kilo 141 build gets itself a 9 out of 10. This build is excellent. There are only so many times I can say it. Kacbor may have the most consistent quality builds offered up for my viewer variants videos. His only competition comes from Tizav Gaming, who has offered up several builds, some of which aren't really my favorite, but are generally more specific, which can lead to me using perks and equipments that I'm not very good with. Good job to both of you, however, on your suggestions. And I'm glad you've all stayed this long. I really appreciate all your time and attention. These viewer variants are almost done, so we'll see how long I stick with these once Battlefield 2042 comes out. I may even continue the series there after I get more into the game and see its customization options. So, what did you all think of Kacbor's latest offering? Did you like it as much as I did, or do you have a build that can top it? Let me know in the comments below. I've been your German host, Zoodleman149, and until next time, I will see you later.